Welcome to Excalibur's 2016 YFS elections debates. Today we are joined by the candidates running for VP Equity. So the debate format will be as follows. Each candidate gets a brief 30-second introduction, followed by a few questions to determine their stance on the issues, concluding with concluding remarks. Without further ado, let's begin.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexandria Williams and I'm running for VP Equity with Student Action. We are really pleased to be here today with all of you. Thanks for inviting us. I think one of the biggest things that we're here for is to talk about equitable issues and social justice and to make sure that we have a level playing field for students here on campus and just recognizing our differences and intersectionalities. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Rodney, Roché. I'm also running for VP Equity, but as an independent candidate. I'm running because of my personal experiences, and being a student here at York, it is a struggle, and there are many other students like myself, and I thought, well, why not rise up in the crowd and try to make a difference? So here I am.
Hello, my name is Louis Deb. I'm running with Team Lift for the position of VP of Equity. I'm running because I believe that everybody deserves to have a judgment-free and inclusive environment. I believe that everybody should be treated equally, no matter where they are from and who they are. And I believe that everybody deserves the freedom of expression, no matter what they believe. And we will work hard on making sure that everybody feels safe on campus and belonging to the community. Yeah, thank you.
Great. I want to start off with what's perhaps the best known issue at York, the issue of BDS. Actually, earlier today, I chatted with a Jewish student, and she said she felt targeted by the BDS. And so my question is, how would you address Jewish students' concerns about BDS? I can start with Alexandria.
Okay. I think war is horrible for both sides. I think when we're talking about BDS and what's happening in that state right now, I think it's very important for us to separate war and religion. I think when we start placing the two together, it starts to get in a worse situation than it already is. I understand that folks feel uncomfortable surrounding these situations or surrounding their identity within it, but the issue here is that like it's not fair on anyone. I feel like if any student feels threatened by a community that is being oppressed, misplaced, displaced, who is being brutalized and killed, if they feel uncomfortable, then there's the bigger issue as to why, and why aren't we helping them? I feel like every person has the right to have a call out to the world to ask for help, to ask for support when you are in dire straits and need of action and reaction, especially as myself, as a Black student, as someone who has to move through different margins of my life. I understand what it feels like to put a call out to the world, to have them answer that, and for folks to respond. So I feel like BDS is a call for an oppressed people to actually get help from the world, and I don't think that anyone should take any sort of remorse or have any ill will towards someone asking for support.
Me? Well, firstly, about myself, I'm a UN Convention refugee. I've faced prosecution because of the fact that I'm queer, I'm gay, and I couldn't live an openly gay life in my home country. I had to flee that. So my humanity was discounted. My basic human right to choose who I want to love was discounted, taken away from me. So if you were to look at this situation in terms of, in the context of human rights, no one's humanity should be discounted. We should be looking in terms of looking for ways to find peace and not ways to fuel a war. So I'll take the stance of finding a way to produce peace and not fuel a war. And if anyone feels threatened by that, then I think we have a problem in terms of how we look at each other's humanity. We shouldn't discount each other's humanity. After the fact that I've faced something similar, not the same, not as high a level as this, but I've faced something similar, and I wouldn't want anyone else to feel threatened or have their lives threatened in any way, form, or fashion. Life is important, life is precious, and we should be looking at finding peaceful, or finding a way to peace everywhere in the world.
I believe that this is a very important issue because it is sad to see that on the most diverse campus in Canada that we still have issues arising from our differences. I think to solve this we have to talk to both sides and understand the reason of why is this happening, why is there's a misunderstanding or disagreement of the facts or what's going on. I don't think anybody agrees with illegal mistreatment of people, of hurting people, of war. Nobody wants to fuel war. Everybody wants, I assume that everybody wants to have peace and to have a discussion to solve and end this problem. So my idea is to talk to both parties and come to a solution about this issue, about the issue that has been going on for years and years now and hasn't been resolved. We have to come to peace, and we have to realize that we have to understand and accept the story of both sides.
So this question is a little more open-ended, posed to everyone. What are some practical initiatives and steps that you would take if elected?
I think the thing that I'm the most excited about and ready for and prepared for and just ready to do the work for is starting a task force on anti-Black racism. I think what's happening on campus and the fact that we're not addressing these things on campus, the lack of Black faculty on campus, the lack of response last year in November when the York United Black Students Alliance had a solidarity action for folks in Missouri. We were called niggers in Valley Hole, and the university had no response to that at all. There was no uproar. There was no outrage from community. I think it's very important for us to look at the gentrification that's happening in the higher priority area of Jane and Finch, which the university is very much complacent in, and the way that it's changing the name to University Heights. There's definitely something that needs to be detached and talked about and investigated, because Black students, especially on this campus, are moving throughout our hallways in a much different way that has been silenced and erased, and there needs to be investigation into why that is and how we can properly combat this. Another thing that I'm very, very excited and I want to push harder for is the expansion of the food bank and things that we offer, from making sure that there's binders for trans folks, that there's makeup for folks, especially racialized folks, because it's very hard to get makeup, because these things do affect folks' mental health, how they're able to perform in the classroom, how they're able to perform around other folks. I want to make sure that nothing is taken away from accessing something that is needed for your existence, for you to feel comfortable within your own body. I also really want to make sure that there is free menstrual products. Menstrual products is not a luxury. It's not something that you should pay for. Like, if I'm broke, I can't tell my body not to have a period this month because I don't have no money to buy pads. Like, that's not how this works. It's a human right for people to feel clean. So that's something I also want to do. I also really, really, really am looking forward into having a campus-wide consent culture forum. We have really big events like YorkFest, most recently Mental Health Week, Frost Week, but there's no sort of direction into the rape culture that is permeated on this campus. The fact that we have weekly reminders of sexual assaults that are happening on campus and there's no real response outside of that. I think that we need to have a campus-wide conference on what consent culture looks like. How do we support survivors, their families, their friends, because it affects communities, and finding active ways that we can look at the intersectionalities of peoples and how they interpret consent and what does that look like. So right now at the gate, there's tons of different things that I want to work on and tons of different things that I have experience with to work on. But right now, that's something that I'm pushing harder for, that I'm the most passionate about, because I think these are the things that are at the forefront that we need to combat as readily as possible. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
I love her. I'm her number one fan, FYI.
Yeah. Oh, Rodney, thank you.
Well, for me, what's at the top of my list is working in terms of how YFS is response to emergency situations. Right now, like there are students on this campus. I know for sure, just like myself. I went homeless last term. Okay, I was walking around downtown. From time to time, I was able to crash the couch, and then after that, like I can't stay there forever. I'm in a Tim Hortons the next night. Okay, and I'm trying to navigate my way, trying to find myself back on track. And the thing is, I cannot do that in York because it's very hard to navigate emergency support services. And that's very hard, not just for myself, but I'm sure other students go through these situations and they cannot find a way to navigate themselves back to some sort of resolution to their problem. And I think YFS, as a student union, we should be able to enhance the response and ability to help students navigate themselves to assistance, because the poverty level is very high, is increasing. A lot of students are going under, they're going hungry. So not just addressing the food bank alone, but we really need to find a way to raise more money or get more funding available for food, for emergency support services. Like just recently, SASL recently sent out an email saying that they don't have enough money to give to persons seeking support because their funds are going low. We need to help people in emergencies. So that's the first thing on top of my list, because I had personal experience with that, and it brings me to tears, being out on the streets, and then of course missing exams because I'm homeless, trying to sort myself out, and then a professor does not want to give me a deferral because I need a doctor's note. What I'm going to tell the doctor? Make up some illness, but I was homeless. That's something I think was should be considered an extenuating circumstance, and that's the first thing. The second thing is identifying not only as a person of color, I'm queer, I have a disability, I suffer with mental illness as well. And if I'm to look for a place or within the service groups where I can feel inclusive, I cannot identify with one, because there's the Access Center that deals with something specific. There's UPSA, USAY, TBLGay, but there's nowhere that there's any intersectionality, especially at TBLGay, where there are queer and trans people, but then there's a very high minority level. The people of color don't feel comfortable there. So this is a reality. I'm not just making this up or trying to complain. This is the reality, and we really need to find another way where we can address accessibility to student support services within the student service groups. So I hope to create a student service group that addresses this intersectionality or lack thereof within the student center, so that students can find that place where they can be able to access whatever they need in one place and feel safe there. And another thing is that a lot of policies are being created on campus by the administration. A lot of policies are being changed, and students aren't very much aware, and these policies affect us. And what I hope to do is to mobilize student participation in these policy making processes. So for instance, a very important one that's happening right now is the sexual harassment assaults policy working group's response to the changing of the sexual assault bill in Ontario. And there's very little student participation from our university in our response to this these changings of this bill. And this affects all universities in Ontario. So we need to mobilize students, make them more aware of what's happening, because these things affect us all. And that's some of the things I want to do.
For me, what I'm passionate about is fighting discrimination and creating a community that accepts each other. Based on my background, where I come from, it's very hard. I came from an environment where it's very hard to accept different people. It's either you're one kind of a person or different type or different family, or you're lower. And it was really and I come from a culture where it's really hard to accept that there's different views, different perspectives. So when I came here 3 years ago, that was the most thing in Canada that appealed to me, or became my passion, that everybody can be accepted with no matter who they are. And I felt it in my first year when I came, and I was afraid that I would be like isolated. I would be I wouldn't be accepted being an Arab, or all the assumptions or the discriminations against that different type of people. So I want others to feel the same thing, that they're safe here, that they have the freedom of expression. That especially for the first year students who come here and they're afraid, and you see them that they go and only hang out with people of their own, and they're afraid to integrate with other cultures, with other type of people, with different backgrounds. So I want to create this culture, this cross-cultural events that put people together, show them how great it is to understand each other, to be with each other, to learn about different cultures, and I truly believe that this kind of action can be a way to fight discrimination. When we all come together and we see that we're all equal, there shouldn't be a place where people think that they're better than someone else. Nobody should think that they're better than someone else. We're all equal here, and this is what made this country great. That everybody has a chance to grow and be whoever they are and succeed. So I want to work really hard to fight discrimination in that way. Also on an equal level, I believe I think York is one of the few left universities have a short reading week, and students deserve to have a full week of rest during their semester. 2 or 3 days is not enough. So I want to lobby and work hard to return those 5 days of full week of reading week to students.
Great. I think we can proceed to our closing remarks.
Okay. Me again.
Number one.
I think the biggest thing that I have to say in terms of like closing, and folks who might be watching this and people who are trying to look for a place to go or trying to have these conversations about what does equity mean and how are we able to recognize one another and also recognize how our intersectionalities affect our lives. I think that it's very important to remember that we are trying to not be safe, but be safer. I feel like the idea of complete safety is one that can happen when we're living in a system that has different avenues to keep certain folks disadvantaged. I really hope that folks watching right now understand that I recognize, because of the intersectionalities that I hold within my own, and I don't think I need to go through all the things that I am. I am femme, I am disabled, I am so many different things. But I think that it's really important to know that I might not be able to understand everything, but I'm willing to hear and I'm willing to give you some sort of reciprocity for your experience on this campus. So I want to work hard to make you feel safer. I want to work hard to listen to what you have to say, to hear your stories, to hear what it means for you to be here, to understand what it is that you need to actually be prosperous and to survive a campus that has so many different ways that it can actually trigger you or cause traumatic experiences to come. So if you see me, please have conversations with me. Please talk to me about what it is that you need to see, what you hope to see, what you want to express, what you want to share with me. Let's have those conversations and come out and vote. Come out and vote for student action, for something that you feel connected to, that you feel like today I heard something that made sense to me. So come out on the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Exercise your right to vote. Vote student action. And I appreciate being here.
It's so hard to go after her. So, closing remarks. This is fun.
This is good for the camera, dude.
So, I'm Rodney, it's very hard to remember my name within the sea of white and yellow. Okay, so remember the little blue poster with the pretty boy? That's me. Just remember, I am one of the people who understand what it means to struggle, and I really want to make a difference. And not to repeat what Alexandria said, but I'm a man who listens. Not everything on my agenda may be appropriate to your needs or seemingly relevant. So remember, you're electing someone to work for you, and I'm a worker. And if I hear what you need or what you want, I will try my best and do it for you. And there's so many things that it still needed to be done. Like, I can't even get into most of them, but some of them are like gender neutral bathrooms. Like, do people really need to go in an obscure part of campus to pee?
Yeah.
Or
But usually the gender neutral bathrooms on campus are like the everything bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why do we need to put a wheelchair on that on top of it? Or
and it's like wheelchair, the diaper change and things, and there's like everything.
Why?
Yeah.
So we really need to do that, especially at the gym. Tate McKenzie, it's 2016. We have all kinds of people, a very diverse population here, and we need to be able to become, we need to be welcoming to everyone. Everyone should be able to access every service and feel included and feel inclusive. So I really would like to work on inclusivity in every form and fashion. Not just that, but also, again, going back to my point before, student participation. We really need to mobilize people. Faculties are changing policies, and yet still they just drop it on us that this has been done. There's no discussion, because this is our university. We are the ones taking student loans. OSAP is not free. We have to pay it back. And we are taking student loans to come to university that just does what they want. And we really need to take a stance and really be a part of that conversation that's happening. So, thank you. And please, find me.
What? My turn. I just want to say that as a VP of Equity, I want to ensure that everybody feels that they belong to the community at York, that everybody feels that they're safe, that they have a chance to integrate with the community, with different cultures. I encourage you to not be afraid, not be shy, to go out, to talk to people, to get involved. University life is the best life you'll ever have. Get out there, and I do believe so. Because there is all kind of support that you'll have from your friends, from your community, from your clubs, from your lounge in your college. If you know everybody, that'll always be there. We're all in this together. We're all suffering together. We all have our problems, but I think all together we can conquer these problems. We can be stronger. And as part of your involvement, go out there and vote and make a change, and all the best of luck to the best party or
independent. I don't belong to anybody. I'm alone.